Okay, I'm back for the plugin part of the Minecraft server thing. So, first off, make it look nice. So once you got, I've gone ahead and downloaded some good plugins. So, but first off, you'd search for plugins on Bukkit.org, and then from there you would go to get plugins. There you'd have tons of plugins. All of these, like these, I think the most recent ones to be submitted, or let's see, last updated. Yeah, pretty recently. So I think these are the ones that have been updated the most recently. So that's why they're there. But depending on what kind of server you're going to make, I'm gonna show you some, and how to configure them. Some of the most common plugins you'd need for a certain server. So first off, let's do survival. So of my list here, you would, in survival, what's always nice, I think, for all of them is a plugin called autosave. So just search that. It's not exactly the most recent thing in the world, but it works. And what's on Bukkit Dev? So yeah, just be careful of things. If it says go on Bukkit Dev, always go on Bukkit Dev, because that's where it's probably most the latest thing, unless it says it somewhere else. But let's see. This plugin is really good because it can. What's the word I'm looking for? It backs up your worlds, like saves it automatically. Anything that's changed, it doesn't do like backup and stuff like that. It saves it like that. It's not every time the server stops or every time somebody types in save all that it saves it. It saves it like that. You don't lose anything. So that's a good plugin you should download. I'll put a link in the description. Another good plugin is, if you need backup, yeah, there's backup plugins. Another one I found useful was banana log. Search that. Yeah, banana log archive. So this is a really useful plugin because, well, your log gets pretty big, as you saw there. It's already 4.86 kilobytes, and we ran it once, and we stopped it. And it's already 4.86 kilobytes. So, okay, that's not much. But once it gets to, let's say you run it every day for 5 or 6 days, which I've done. If I look over to my second computer, my Adventure Map server's log right now is 327 kilobytes. Now, the backup of those logs, which I think I should have. Click on the right folder. So, let's see. Config. So I can see where it actually saves it. Path backup. Backups. So I don't know where it is. No idea where it is, but there was a server at some point where I had something like ridiculously sized logs. And I think Bukkit does delete the log when it gets to a certain size, like a couple, because once you get to pretty big logs like 20-30 megabytes, that's 20-30 megabytes of RAM that's also lost, because the log is constantly in memory, because, well, that's where it saves it to, so it has to be in memory. So it makes it slower, and the bigger the file, of course, the slower it is. So it's always good to have a small log. So it's a really good plugin as well. Another good plugin would be, let's go back to plugins. Another good plugin for survival. Now you'd use banana log, just, you know. So let's do actually, this is for general. Yeah, general stuff. So craft bucket up to date. Also put a description of that. This pretty much checks all the plugins in its own database to see if it has it there. Like, if it has it in its database, it can check if that's plugin's up to date. Exact spawn if you want an exact spawn point. Memory monitor if just tells you how much RAM is being used currently. It's a really light plugin. Multiverse core. Now, if you're gonna set up multiple worlds, this is really good. So you have like one creative world, one survival world, one redstone world, for example. But multiverse, along with like other permissions and a couple other plugins, are really long and hard to set up. I remember it took me hours to try and get multiverse to run, and that's not even with the. Don't get me started on like the Nether portals. That took me another couple hours. So I didn't. That was for like a couple versions ago, but I've given up for my latest adventure map server. I just don't need the portals. Since it's only for myself. No lag. Pretty good plugin. It avoids lag. It changes a bit the physics of Minecraft, or that may be P tweaks. So yeah, performance tweaks. So no lag and performance tweaks do speed up your server. I can vouch for that. It does speed up your server. Simple restart is if you know, because after a while your server takes a lot of RAM and gets sort of, I don't know what's the word. It uses up a lot of resources. If you restart it, then it just takes restarts what it needs. Then apart from that, yeah, you can have text wrap if you want. That wraps the text. Pretty obvious. But yeah, those are some really good plugins. I'm going to put a link in the description for every single one. But this is a pretty short video. Next video will be about creative and survival plugins. So, okay, now on to the survival plugins. So some good survival plugins would be, I don't really have much here, but you can search here. It'd be stuff like, let's see. You could have some, remove the search. Some good survival plugins would be, look, if you want chat, good chat on your server, look into that. Maybe if you want an economy, that's always good. If you want fixes, stuff like that. Fun, that's always good if you want. General, those also are good if you're making role-playing games, miscellaneous. So, yeah, let me look into my archives to see if I have any good servers I could look into, like good server plugins, I mean. Okay, some good plugins I went around and found were, there's admin GUI, which is good for admins. It gives them a GUI for them to do simple commands, check how much RAM the server is using and all that. General stuff. Advanced bans and advanced warnings. Advanced warning. Different plugins, but they do essentially the same thing. Advanced bans is for banning with specific times. Advanced warning is for warning people and gives them a certain punishment according to how many warnings. Ambient seasons is a really fun plugin. It gives different seasons, like this might be do I have this? Right. Yeah, ambient seasons actually changes your texture pack as well, I think. Yeah, it changes your texture pack according to the season, as long as you have Spout. Which, Spout is another plugin which isn't hard to set up, but it's very expandable. It's worth it if there are some plugins that hook into Spout, but only disadvantage of Spout is you need a client version of Spout. On the other hand, any user in your Minecraft server can run it, they just won't get all the features that the Spout plugins have to offer. Ambient seasons does stuff like add snowy weather for certain periods of time and stuff like that. Angry Wolves is a really fun plugin. Stuff like sheep turning into wolves. Really fun. I remember a friend set up a server half a year ago, something like that. We had that, and I remember I would love shearing sheep because back then you just, punch them to shear them. I'd just punch one, and one day I was just, punch one, turned into like, whoa, 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 whoa. And I think I died as well. So, yeah. Sorry for the screensaver. Another fun plugin is, well, not fun plugin. Another good plugin is Banana Chunk. Lets the user resend its chunk if there's a big world hole. I haven't seen many world holes recently, so I don't know if it's because I'm on a local server or something. Another good, couple other good stuff. Let's see. Well, there's tons of plugins like that add stuff like factions. Yeah, that add more community things. So factions is a good plugin. It adds, well, as it says, factions or teams, which is pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. Also, Economy. That's a really good. That's an okay plugin. That's probably, along with Bo's Economy, those are probably the two best economy plugins in Minecraft. They're both pretty lightweight. I'd say Economy is the lightest of both of the two. And, well, yeah, it took me a while to set that up, but I think that was because of plugin conflicts. Now, also what's good, especially if you make a survival server, is you want stuff like data gatherer, log ores, what else? Let me see. Scroll down. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those two. And Superlog. Now, these are 3 plugins which might increase the load on your server, but they're really good because they track how much ores your players are mining and all that, and how close the ores were to each other, whether it's an open space in a cave and all that. So they track it pretty well, and they have its own AI, which pretty much notifies any admin or whatever rank you want, saying SethOMG is most likely cheating because he found 20 diamonds in like 5 minutes. So yeah, pretty good plugin, especially if you want to be a strict survival. There's also let's see. Well, there's a couple other ones which add fun stuff. Monster Hunt lets you hunt monsters at night, and whoever hunts the most gets a reward. Natural Giants, which lets Minecraft, like those big giant zombies, spawn. Other drops. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to put the link to the description for every single one. But just search them up and you'll get them. If you have any questions, yeah, post them because I'm always available, more or less. Other drops, which lets you make monsters drop other items. So instead of just a zombie dropping rotten flesh and the chance of a iron tool, you can make it also drop, I don't know, a gold ingot, a diamond, I don't know, a bone, whatever you want. There's also Residence, which lets you make plots of land. Took me a while to set that one as well. And yeah, there's censoring plugins as well. And yeah. Now, another really fun plugin, and most likely my favorite plugin actually, would be Seats. Now this just adds simple seats which are a step, like a staircase, with a painting behind it. So yeah, pretty cool. And yeah, it's fun. So that's about it for survival plugins, I have a lot more admin and creative plugins because that's what I mostly do on servers. So yeah, on to creative plugins. So even more plugins now. So really fun. Let's see. What was I saying? Creative plugins, yeah. Those would be stuff like let's see. Cat dispense, which lets you dispense cats. Jumping minecarts, that's not really as much. Let's jump right into the ones that are really creative. So, let's see. Sorry, let's see, I can't find any right now. So, yeah, okay, let's go on to this list, which I have way more of on this. So, backup. Like that, you don't lose. You can always roll back to a version if there's griefers. That can be for general servers as well. Clean room generator, which is essentially just really flat worlds. But no, I get it. It's yeah, for server properties, level type default can also be super flat. I think that's what it is. So this is a outdated plugin, but it does, on the other hand, let you choose the material. So instead of just being grass, it could be stone if you want. Command book, more or less all the essential plugins, all the essential commands along such stuff like God mode, giving commands like /I and all that. So yeah, really good. Points of interest, which lets you place certain, just like place a certain point saying at this exact coordinate is, I don't know, SethOMG's really cool house. I don't know. Then it tells you, you can just do like / I think POI or something like that. Then you get a list of everything, of all the close points of interest. So simple sign edit lets you edit sign. Spawn mob, which lets you spawn a certain mob, sort of replaced by mob eggs, but this lets you spawn a certain amount of mobs in every single mob pretty easily. And while we're on the mobs, there's also something called a mob disguise, which is a fun plugin which lets you transform into mobs. So for example, you can turn yourself into a creeper and creep on somebody else. Voxel sniper. Amazing plugin. That's really good. No, I'm not going to do a tutorial on that. There's lots of those already by the Voxel box themselves. So check those out, I guess. Haven't watched any, so I don't have the links. But Voxel Sniper is really useful. Lets you sort of do terraforming. World Edit. Extremely useful. Bit like Voxel Sniper, except completely different. Voxel Sniper lets you do terraforming. World Edit lets you edit certain portions of the world as cubes, or more as like rectangular prisms. And World Guard, which lets you protect certain areas of your world. So pretty much that's it for plugin list. Now, next episode I will include how to set them up. The interesting ones, like the ones that are difficult to set up, and the ones that I happen to have here. And then, I'll do maybe a couple basic tutorials on how to use them in-game. So this has been MrSethOMG. Like, subscribe, and leave comments if you have questions, because I will gladly answer your question.